Can I just start over? Why didn't anybody even tell me? I thought I unmuted this thing, but apparently I muted it anyway. Anyway, come on in, because what we do here. Well, I already told you, reread. God said, and then I'm going to tell you what he did say, because he did not say that. So, now I spent, this is the second day in a row that I fucked this up because I'm so excited. Anyway, see, now I feel stupid. I was all excited and shit. But anyway, I am waiting for Miss Muddy to get here. Hopefully she comes today because I have an idea. And it might be a good idea, it might be a bad idea, but it is an idea. And I'm wondering what she would think about it. But she's been working late and doing stuff. So she might not. I should have renamed this because we're done with Revelation. I don't know what to do. I kind of want to read Ezekiel because that is another prophecy book, is Ezekiel. And Ezekiel kind of doesn't have nothing to do with anything. It's kind of just a book that's in there. But there's a lot of stuff that is outlawed by the book of Ezekiel. Well, okay. The book itself isn't exiled, but I think there's something that he does, although I'm not exactly sure what. I don't even know how to spell Ezekiel question mark. I don't know how to spell Ezekiel. Maybe I could just look instead of just looking like a retard. I could just. Oh, look, there it was. Never mind. Hold on. And Jeremiah. But, okay. It's Ezekiel. Wait. Ezekiel, maybe? Ezekiel. Okay. Yeah. Question mark. Because we're going to find out. Actually, we're going. Okay. See, it changed it. That's a good time. Okay. I'm done with that. Okay. Look. Look. Okay. So, I am kind of teetering on if I should read Ezekiel next because it's a prophecy. But how he gets these prophecies, supposedly, is banned. And one of the ways that is said, and I think this is said in the book that they made up in Babylon, is Ezekiel eats his own dookie or something. It's some kind of crazy shit. And I guess you're banned from doing it lest you prophesy without the church. Although the church has been full of shit since day one, and you need not do anything to prophecy except for have God decide you're going to prophecy, and then, life is what it is once God chooses you. It's a thing. But anyway. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, this happened when Josiah was king. Yeah, it's when. Hey, Miss Mud Duck. Sorry, I'm late. Was in the shower. It's okay because look. I have a legitimate question. Even though this prophecy of these books happens long before Revelation and long after Genesis, and this kind of happens sort of in the middle of the story or whatever, right? Um, I kind of want to read Ezekiel because, well, it fills in a lot of things and it's an insane fucking prophecy. And we will never get to it for a long time. So could we read it now? Could I read it now? I'm going to tell you all about it. God the first is in here. God the second is kind of an asshole. And God the third is like, I don't know, but it's mostly about God the first. And I think this story is kind of fun. Because we learn a whole bunch of shit. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, because again, I've only read the Ezekiel one time, but I think it's about God the first. I'm pretty sure it's about God the first, way before Exodus, but I can't prove it. But I don't know. I like it. Yeah, are you okay with it? Yeah, have a good time. Look, look, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna learn about the thing with all the eyes, and then we're gonna learn about the thing with four faces, which, in what we just read, they were separated beings, but in this one, they're all one. Ugh. And then we learn that the cherubs are actually cows. Look, look, you go ahead and get ready because I am super excited. Man, I'm so excited I wet your pants. Look. You have no idea you should change your pants. Hold on. You're so amazing. Okay. Okay. So, I guess. Oh, we're ready. Okay. You ready, Miss Muddy? You ready? Did you change my pants? I got so excited. I apologize. 40 chapters? Yeah, do me 40 chapters of awesome. Yeah. 40 chapters of awesome. Look, should we check and see if anybody else wants to come? Why don't we do that real quick? Because I would hate to start a story without everybody here. I don't even know how to contact people. And I'm on a different browser. I can't use my main browser when I'm on this one because I had to get a whole separate browser just to run my streaming. And Microsoft is kind of mad about that I had to use Google. I had to turn off a thing in order to use Google on my Microsoft computer. But my streaming won't work on Microsoft browsers, only Google. But I don't care. I love this streaming platform. I'll do it for that. Yep. Okay. Look. Here we go. Ezekiel chapter 1. Now it came about in the 13th year of the 5th day of the 4th month. Okay, their first month is April, May, June, July. Yeah, okay. July 5th, 0013. Okay. While I was by the river Kabar, among the exiles, the heavens were opened up, and I saw visions of God. On the 5th month of the 5th year of King Jehoiachin's exile. Okay, so this is when they're in Babylon. Okay. The word of the Lord came expressly to Ezekiel the priest, son of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldeans, by the river Kabar. And there the hand of the Lord came upon him. And there ain't no saying no. When God's like, tag, you're it. There's no touching a tree for base. Like, base, nope, doesn't happen. And as I looked, behold, a storm wind was coming from the north, a great cloud with fire flashing continually, and a bright light around it, and in its mist in its midst, in the middle of this shit, something like glowing metal in the midst of the fire. And within it, there were figures resembling 4 living beings. And this was their appearance. They had human form, and each one of them had 4 faces and 4 wings. Now remember in Revelations, which happened long after this, they were finally turned into separate beings, like each face was a different person. And now in Revelation, there was only 4 of them. But in here, there's 4 face people things. Okay? So this has to be God the first heaven. Okay. And their legs were straight, and their feet were like a calf's hoof, and they gleamed like burnished bronze. I don't know what that means, but okay. Under their wings, on their 4 sides, were human hands, As for the faces and wings of the four of them. What? And under their wings, on their four sides, were human hands. As for the faces and wings of the four of them. So what does that even mean? I don't even know what that means. Like, it seems like it's just a square. It's like four people were taken together, right? And out of each side of it is a different face with human hands. And then there's some wings. Do they share the wings? How would the wings even work? See, this is God the first because it's very basic and highly hard to understand, even though it's so simple. It's like, and some of the most simplest things are highly complex when you think about them. It's like, what the fuck? That's so simple. But is it? No. No, it's not. Okay. Anyway. Uh, and their legs, four of them. And their wings touched one another. Their faces did not turn when they moved. Each went straight forward. So it must be the other three are asleep when one is moving. The other three are asleep. And they just rotate, maybe. Okay. As for the form of their faces, each one had a face of a man. All four had the face of a lion. And on the right, no, hold on. Each one had the face of a man. All four had the face of a lion on the right, a face of a bull on the left, and all four had the face of an eagle. Okay. Which were their faces, their wings were spread out above. Each had two, touching another being, and two covering their bodies, and each went straight forward. However, the spirit, wherever the spirit was about to go, they would go without turning as they went. What does this even mean? Miss Muddy, what does this mean? Miss Muddy. Miss Muddy, what does it mean? Miss Muddy, what does it mean? I don't know what's happening. What is happening? No one knows. No one knows what's happening. Miss Muddy knows what's happening, but she don't want to tell me it's a secret. It's a secret. But I can know the secret because I'll announce it on my bullhorn. I got a microphone. I'll tell everybody what it means. What does it mean? No one knows what it means. It means conspiracy. It's all the fault of a conspirator. His name is Ezekiel. I don't know what's happening. No, the cherubim are little cows. We haven't got there yet. But these little guys, what? Wow. I want to read it again. And then you can tell me what it means. We haven't got there yet. I haven't got there yet. I don't know what's happening. Look, look, we're going to pray. I'm going to pray right now Me, Nikki K, and Nikki K voice. I want to be like, big guy. We've been reading this for so long. I understand a lot of it. But I've only read this book one time. And I only remember a few things about it. I know this prophecy is more about your dad than you. I get it. But I would love for you to make my mind figure out how this works. Because I'm not understanding how this can even happen. Like, is it like the Hellraiser thing where they can separate? You know, is it kind of like that? Like, if they separate? I mean, it's kind of gross, really, if you think about it, but I don't know. It's not for my mind to figure out. I don't know what's happening. No, chapter 10. Okay. 4/4 of the earth. Chapter 10. Okay. 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 We can do that. We can do that. Get to chapter 10. Yeah, but I gotta get to chapter 1. Ah, okay. Okay. Wherever they moved in any of their 4 directions without turning as they moved. Wait. Okay. So there was 4 of them. Okay, so all 4 of them, they had 4 faces, but each of the one had the 4 faces. So they could go in their own direction without turning because there's 4 of them with 4 faces, and they just went each direction. So they didn't have to separate their body. Okay. Well, I guess I can live with that. I can live with that. I mean, it's not like it would be hard to live without that knowledge because it really wouldn't be hard to live without that knowledge. But now I know there's 4 of them. They don't have to separate. They could just be themselves and move in the direction. Okay. Okay, I can. Well, we're going to pretend I can live with that. It's the only thing that's going to help me move past it. Okay, here we go. As for the rims, as for their rims. Oh, so they rode like cars? They're cars? Look, no, it's too much. They roll on wheels. I thought they had feet. I thought they had feet, but they were like bronze. So maybe they're on a platform with wheels. Maybe they're on a platform because their wheels are, or their feet are bronze. Maybe their feet are really heavy. So they're on some kind of platform that has wheels. But apparently they had some badass rims, really lofty and awesome. They had some hundos. Yeah, it's good time. Okay, anyway. Okay. What? Okay. As for their rims, they were lofty and also, and the rims of all four of them were full of eyes round about. And whenever the living beings moved, the wheels moved with them. And whenever the living beings rose from the earth, the wheels also rose. Wherever the spirit was about to go, they would go in that direction. And the wheels rose close behind them. No, close beside them. For the spirit of the living beings within the wheels. And the wheels are made of eyes. And as we get into the Old Testament, God changes people at their eyes, the spirits in the eyes, and he gives them new vision and shit, like a new way to see things or whatever. Something like that. But I don't know. Okay. Whenever those went, these went. And wherever those stood, these also stood still. And wherever those arose from the earth, the wheels rose close beside them. For the spirit of the living beings was in the wheels. So time out. It's saying the living thing goes before the spirit. So you do whatever first and then your spirit follows you. Maybe that's why it takes a couple minutes to die. Because your spirit is shortly behind you. I just made that up because I don't know. I just made that up. But it does take a couple minutes to die before you die. Hey, Ricky. Welcome. Say hi to Miss Muddy because we finally got her. It only took me forever. Actually, I've been waiting for you for a while, but I haven't seen you for a while, so I've actually been searching for you for like 3 days. But it's okay. But I got you, and now you're here, and you're helping me understand things. I know what's happening. Okay. So, here we go. Now, over the heads of the living beings, there was something like an expanse, like the awesome gleam of a crystal extended over their heads. Ooh, 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 ooh. I know what this is. I know what this is. This is a car seat. God writes piggyback on these things. Look, you know he does. So he has a little, he has a little shelf on top of him, so he can sit Indian style and watch shit. Watch his own YouTube. But this got the first, so he doesn't have a YouTube. So you know he just rolls around on these things watching shit. If I was God, that's what I would do. I'd be so bored. I would just want to go piggyback riding on these things. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And under the expanse, Their wings were stretched out straight, one toward the other, and each one had 2 wings covering their bodies on the one side and the other. I also heard the sound of their wings, like the sound of abundant waters. And the voice of the Almighty. A tumult, like the sound of an army camp. Wherever they stood still, they dropped their wings. And there came a voice from above the expanse that was over their heads, and it said,
Forward march! I want to see everything! Yeah, we have a good time! Yeah, let's go to the liquor store. I need some beer.
That's not what it said. That's not what it said. No, I don't know what it said. Wait, hold on. There came a voice from above the expanse that was over their head. Whenever they stood still, they dropped their rings. Now, above the expanse that was over their head, there was something resembling a stone, like lapis lazuli in appearance. And on that, which resembled a throne, high up, was a figure with the appearance of a man. That's God the Third. Then I noticed from the appearance of his loins. Yeah. Why are you checking out his dick, Ezekiel? Knock it off. Anyway. And upward, something like glowing metal that looked like fire all around within it. And wait, from within it. And the appearance of his loins downward was something like fire. And there was a radiance around him. That's God the Third. As the appearance of the rainbow in the clouds. Oh, maybe it's God the Second. Because God the Second's all about rainbows. Yeah, God the Second is really flashy. God the First is kind of boring. And God the Third is all about being flashy. Like he's like, I'm going to be broody. That's what it is. God the Third is really broody because people hurt his feelings. But we don't really know much about God the Third because I think this one's about God the First and God the Second mostly. Right now, we're talking about God the Third, and he's really broody. Okay. Okay. And there was radiance around him as the appearance of a rainbow. It's a rainbow in the dark. No, it's a rainbow in the clouds on a rainy day. It was the appearance of the surrounding radiance, which was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. And when I saw it, I did the face thing and heard a voice speaking. Okay. So Ezekiel right now is talking about God the Third. He's talking about Jesus. Anyway, Ezekiel's talking about God the Third right now. Because we know the description of Jesus from what we read about Jesus before we ever read this book. And then in Revelation, there is also, it's mostly about God the First, but yeah, Revelation had a lot to do with God the Second, but mostly God the Third. And here in Ezekiel, we're at chapter 1 and it's talking about Jesus. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Why? Why do these terrible ass God people, why do they ignore Jesus? When we're reading it right here in we're like, oh yeah, that's God the third. Like, and then like we'll read a lot more, and it's like, oh yeah, that's Jesus. Why didn't they notice that? You know what I mean? It's I finally got my tech Discord. I can't because I'm on a different thing. Wait, he didn't want to say he saw God, so he described the brilliant light. Yeah, but that's Jesus, though. Like, pretty much what he's talking about right now seems like a God the third thing, a Jesus thing. And you're right, you couldn't really. No, because they saw him as a prophet back then. He could have said he saw God. I think he purposely didn't say he saw God because it was something different. It wasn't exactly God, it's a prophecy, it's Jesus. But maybe we're in hindsight, you know what I mean? Like, we know the story of Jesus, so we can point it out. Whereas back then, they didn't have a Bible to go off of, right? So, but I mean, even Jesus, after doing all the things that he did, they could have read this shit and been like, oh, yeah, that these things are talking about Jesus. But they never did. You know, we can blame it. Hindsight is 2020. But like when the evidence is in your face and you purposely ignore it, then you getting burned is totally your fault, right? Something like that. I think it's something like that, Miss Muddy. It does it seem like it would be something like that? Like they could have read their book. They could have read this after they saw Jesus do a couple miracles and been like, ooh, maybe this is something. Because I guess even Nicodemus did, even if it was for like 5 minutes, you know, he only believed in Jesus for the time Jesus was sitting there. And the other people that came to see Jesus, couldn't they have pointed out in these prophecies like, oh yeah, these entire books are talking about this one guy, and here is the proof. But then I suppose it would have been like it is now. Everybody would have had Jesus derangement syndrome. They would have been trying to put, well, actually, they did put Jesus in jail with fake evidence, but they didn't have any patience, so they just rushed it. And maybe they did have Jesus derangement syndrome, but people weren't like really smart back then because the church kept them that way. So maybe people did have Jesus derangement syndrome, but none of them could read to get out of it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, just talk with me for a couple minutes so I can smoke this cigarette. Tell me what you think. Yeah, but a lot more people are smart now than they were back then. There's more people. There's a lot more. I don't know. There's a lot more people that know what's going on today than there were back then. That's what I think. And people aren't smart now because they don't want to be. There is no reason that people should be stupid nowadays. There is absolutely no excuse why there's people that can't read. There's no excuse on why people can't add. There's absolutely no reason for it. But Miss Muddy, what are you thinking? Damn. Man, I wish Wheels was here. Damn. Okay. Okay. We'll do. Yes. Yes, Ricky. But I don't really want to talk about that man because the last two times I talked about him I lost subscribers, and it's because I think people thought I was getting political, even though I wasn't, and I got fucking Trump hanging right there. So we know where my political leanings are. I hang them up. But I guess I talked about the Charlie Kirk thing too much. But I don't care. I do not care if if that's what people chose to believe or whatever. I said what I said and I said how I felt about it. And if people don't like that, they should shove off because I'm not a secret Trump supporter. I am a Trump supporter. And the Charlie Kirk thing fucked me up way bad. And I probably shouldn't have talked about it for 2 days in a row. And that was probably my bad. But I was really affected by it. But you know what I can't believe? I can't believe that many people who are softies actually watch my videos. I can't believe it. Yes, Ezekiel. And it's really crazy how it's described, how he had his vision. Now, I only know this secondhand because I didn't read that fake ass book they wrote in Babylon. I never read that, so I don't really know. But they said, and apparently this is outlawed, but they said he used to eat his own waste for days on end or something to have these magical visions and be transported places, and that's banned to do that. But the church, if it's under church supervision, apparently you can do it. But only if the church gets to watch you eat your own shit. Which I'm sure they get some kind of sick pleasure out of. Not exactly sure. But I wouldn't put it past them. But chapter 2 is not that long. Literally, it's just a blurb. So I'm going to go ahead and read that. And then we can sit and talk about it for a second or whatever. But I'm going to read it. Okay. Then he said to me, Son of man. Okay. So this Son of Man, this Ezekiel was written way before Jesus. So is Jesus calling himself this on purpose? Because he's trying to trick everybody into thinking he's Ezekiel? So, I don't know. I think Jesus did that. He sped up his own demise on purpose. Like, he did that shit on purpose. You can just see him ramping up. Like, just ramping it up. But this, that's right here. Huh. This is highly interesting. That he's like, I'm the Son of Man. Or God called me the Son of Man. That's quite interesting. That's quite interesting. Okay. Anyway.
Son of man, stand on your feet that I may speak with you. It's on.
I thought he was already standing. I don't know. Okay. And I heard him speaking to me.
Son of man, I am sending you to these terrible ass God people, to a rebellious people who have rebelled against me. They and their father have transgressed me to this very day. Ah, yeah. And I'm sending you to them who are stubborn and obstinate. I don't know that word. What is that word? What does it mean? I think that means fuckhead. They're stubborn fuckhead. And you shall say to them, thus the Lord God said, you people fucking suck. Whether they listen or not, for they are rebellious. They will know that a prophet has been among them, and you, Son of Man, neither fear them or their words because they suck. The thistles and horns are with you, and you sit on scorpions. neither fear their word, nor be dismayed at their presence, because they look like assholes and they suck. But you're going to tell them whether they listen or not. Now, you, son of man, I need you to hear me. Do not be like these assholes. Open your mouth and eat what I'm giving you. Yeah, do it. I swear it'll be great. It'll hold on. It'll test, but I can't say anything. I want to tell you something. Listen to me. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to stick this in your mouth. It's a pretzel pizza, and it's so good. You are going to die for it. Listen, listen. It's going to be so good. Okay, look. They are rebellious. Okay, and you don't suck. Open your mouth and get this pretzel pizza. Then,
Then I looked, and behold, there extended to me was a pretzel pizza with a scroll in it. And when he spread it out before me, it was all cheesy and so good. But the scroll, it was written on the front and the back. And written on there were lamentations, mourning, and woe. Everything is gonna suck. I'm telling these people they blew. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Rebellious nations against God. So they are fuckheads. Yeah, I had it right. Look, I had it right. Yeah, it's so good. I'm so fucking smart. I can't even stand myself sometimes. I'm like, man, how'd I get so smart? No one knows. No one knows how I got so smart. I was educated in prison. I have a good time. So, so that is the end of that. And we will pick up on chapter 3 tomorrow. Miss Muddy, this was such a good idea, wasn't it? This was a really, really good idea. I'm kind of glad that I came up with it because it is a great idea. What am I doing? Yeah. See? Yeah. Okay. I know what's happening. So, Miss Muddy, are you glad or what? Yeah. Man, this was such a good idea. I'm so glad you came up with it because, you know, it seems like it's like about God the third right now, but it does talk about God the first. I'm not sure when though. Maybe chapter 10, like you said, chapter 10 will tell us what we're doing. Yeah, man, man, I really like this book. But did I take my pills? I did take my pills. Okay. I took my pills. Why am I not yawning? Oh, now I. Okay. They are kicking in. So, what are you guys doing for the rest of the night? Are you guys ready for bed? Chapter 124. Damn it, lady, I just closed this book. I also heard the sound of their wings, the sound of abundant waters as they went. Oh, so they sounded like super cicadas. Man, I didn't even, I don't know, I guess I just glossed over it. But I bet they sound like cicadas. Like a lot of fucking cicadas. I know. God the first sounds like thunder. God the second sounds like trumpet. And God the third, Jesus, sounds like running water. Like, but I don't know which one of them talks like a cicada. Maybe, I don't know. Man, it sounds like Dustin's waiting for me to go to bed. All right. Good night, Ricky. I love you. Go give the pillows some head and the sheets some ass and have the sweetest dream ever. Love you. Good night. Miss Muddy, Miss Muddy, what are you doing? Are you ready to have some sweet ass dreams about some sweet ass cicadas with four faces? Man, I man, I pray that more people come and hear this story because it's one that we haven't really read before. So none of us kind of know what's happening. Well, I'm sure people have read it before, and I've read it before, but I've never read it in a setting like this. I have it on video. I read it in my first run through of the Bible. That took a couple fucking times because I couldn't really read. Um but I did read it once. And well, why not read it again? It's another prophecy and we're reading prophecies, so why not read this one? So I pray other people come so they can have some fun with us and read something that we rarely get to read and just giggle about it and try to figure out what happened. I got all the dishes done and I got all the wash rags washed. Tomorrow I finish the actual laundry, like the clothes, and then some of the towels. Because for some reason we don't wash our towels with our clothes. Not exactly sure why, but I started that tradition for no real reason. So I got a few loads of laundry left, but I should get them done. So, all right. Good night, Miss Muddy. I love you. Yeah, I want you to give your pillow some head and your sheets some ass and have the sweetest dreams ever. Good night. And everybody else, you have a good night too. Don't forget, press like and subscribe and say goodnight in the chat before I hit the outro. I love you guys so much. You guys are my absolute world. I want you to know that. I look forward to nothing else except for our time together. So, if you never feel like anybody loves you, just remember the sage out in the universe definitely loves you. And you can visit me every night at 10:15 so we can go through the story and have the greatest time ever. I love y'all so much. Now I'm hitting the outro. Good night.